Hi, Ruben. Hi, how are you?
Hello, man. I can't see you. Ah, there you are. How are you, Victor?
Wait, there you go. Sorry, something happened. Hey, how are you, Ruben?
Everything's fine, man. Thank you very
You
much for
good?
your time.
Yeah,
You know,
of course. Eric is on his way as well, I think. He is logging in.
I like to talk to bass players always.
Okay, good. So we're home.
It's really, really great. There's some kind of, we could say, universal conjure. The people always say they don't listen to bass. I don't like it.
Yeah, I know, man. No, that's what, but that's the good thing about it too. If you take it away, you really notice something's missing. It's like eating food without a plate, that's.
Okay, there is it, Eric. Hi, Eric. How are you, man?
Hello.
Perfect,
Sorry for being
perfect.
late.
No problem, man. Well, thank you very much to both, and it's not so usual for us to talk with a hard rock band coming from the Nordic countries. Um,
Awesome.
it's really great, and I don't know, maybe 25 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
25 years since the band started, yeah, I think. Or isn't it 1999? Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
If you say the band started in 99, it's a bit of a stretch, but I did my first demo in 99, so it's
Great, great. Well, could you
Baby
please
steps.
could you please introduce yourself to our audience? But I like it the way you think, the way you would like to be introduced.
Well, my name is Victor, and I play bass in the Swedish rock and roll band Eclipse.
Yeah.
That's good. That works.
that works. Yeah. And my name is Eric, and I'm the singer and guitar player in Eclipse. And I think I've been with the band since the start. I did the first demo, and I'm still in the band, which is very enjoyable.
February the 29th, I think, you release Apocalypse Blues. Do you think it's a little bit too soon? Thinking about the last album, it was, I guess, October, I guess.
Oh, it's well, maybe, but it's all according to a plan. So
Uh-huh.
I think it will work out really well in the end. And I also think we're a very creative band, and we make a lot of music, and that is our bread and butter. And we really love to release new music and to perform new music live. And that's what we're doing. So it's also a lot of fun to be able to have this new single with us when we come to Argentina for the first time, and when we come
Yeah.
to Chile and Brazil. It feels very right to have something new with us as well, even though we're coming to perform, old songs and the songs from the previous album and everything. But for us, it's a very good thing, I think, to be able to share something that is uniquely new as well.
And do you prefer studio work or live shows, or both, or none of them?
Well, I think they're two different things. I think
Uh-huh.
I've said this before, but making a record or making songs, it's like building a car. And when you play live, you actually get to drive the car.
Hmm.
So it's two different things, but still the same thing, you know. And
And I
I
like,
really
yeah,
enjoy both.
I like driving more than I like building a car.
Yeah, I'm more. I'm 50-50. I like the
Mm.
building as well
Right.
And
Yeah.
when it turns out well. I
Hmm.
have to say that.
But it
When the
works.
songs are shitty and it sounds crap, then it's no fun.
Mhm.
and small venues or big arena.
That is also two different things, I think.
Uh-huh.
I do like playing in smaller venues because it feels like you get a connection to
Hmm.
to the people there easier. But the big arena is you get to have a completely different show when it comes to lights and
Mhm.
and bigger PA, and it's a bigger apparatus kind of, which is also fun.
Yeah.
So they're both equally great, but the connection is important, and it's fun to meet people and to see how they react to your music, and hopefully see some smiles.
Yeah. I guess. Well, this is gonna be your first time here, and playing so close to the people. You can see their faces. Even you could even hear what they're saying. It's something very very strong, I guess.
Yeah, it's fantastic. As I have to say this, follow up on Victor there, is that the best gigs I've had with this band, the top 10 is not going to be the top biggest gigs. It's gonna, maybe some of the big arena gigs are going to be on the top 10 list, but I think most of them is going to be club gigs, which have been the best gigs I've ever experienced as a performer. So I don't think you have to say that the bigger gigs are the better gigs. That's not true. Both are great, but they're, as you said, very different.
Yeah, of course. Well, and this internet area have changed a lot the way people listen music and the way the bands release their material too. And does this affect anyway the way you make and you release your music?
Do you want to go? Should I?
Well, the streaming, both yes and no. Because as a rock band, we started playing music because we are fans of rock music. And that's how someone starts playing rock and roll music. And as a fan, I want to do the album thing and vinyls and the old traditional way of making records, have the album cycle and tour. But also there is a new reality that most people are not buying vinyls or CDs. They are listening on streaming. So I think that's a reality that you have to live with and work with somehow. And as I said, we released the new single. It's also a very fun way of being creative with the new way of releasing music. We don't have to make, well, we did actually a 7-inch vinyl of the song, but we don't have to do that. We can just release the song on streaming and that's it. You can make it very simple.
That's true. I think the main takeaway from the internet era of music is that it's just a lot faster. You work faster, and you can work really, like you're saying, just drop something online or do whatever you want. But it is a lot faster, so it requires the bands to work faster as well. And that's the difference, I think. But then again, you look back at the Beatles dropped 12 albums in 8 years, and that's in the 60s. So, they work pretty fast themselves. But I think in those terms, that's what my takeaway from it is, that it's quicker, swifter.
And you released a 7-inch vinyl. Is it usual there, or it's something unique?
I would say so. I think we at least in Europe, vinyl is really popular nowadays. Again, mainly I think. Well, obviously people listen. I mean, I know Erik has a massive vinyl collection, and you have really good stereos and vinyl players and all that. So a lot of people use them obviously to listen to the music, but it's also the fact that you get this, printed large kind of moniker for the album that you really love, which is what an album is essentially. So I think fans seem to appreciate it more and more.
Yeah, and I think I just came up with something. Correct me if I'm completely wrong, but Sweden was kind of the first countries in the world to adapt to internet, and everyone got internet very early on in Sweden during the 90s in Sweden. And Spotify came from Sweden, and the whole streaming and downloading of music, music has been digital for such a long time. We're talking almost 30 years now. That people has been at least 25 years since people started streaming and downloading music and stuff. So I think we maybe also vinyl really took off in the north of Europe. If Scandinavia especially first. I think in Germany and the southern Europe, vinyl did not take off until now. And I think maybe because we started streaming so early, maybe we got bored first as well with streaming, and so that's why the vinyls are actually selling. We sell a lot of vinyls. Vinyl is a big yeah, that's a big income for us, selling vinyls, which is fantastic. It's fantastic.
Of course. And do you think we are living kind of a new wave of hard rock era?
I think
Yeah,
that
maybe the later.
yeah, I think a lot of music is just more because of the internet. You can find your thing much easier, maybe today. And you can, if you're into thrash metal, you can find communities that are also into thrash metal, and you can get recommended other artists and much easier, in a much easier way than maybe it was 30, 40 years ago. Therefore, I think most genres will live on and find their fans easier. I guess that's the idea, but it doesn't always work. But that's what I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I think especially this melodic rock. I've said this before, that in the early 2000s, late 90s, it was so dead. It was completely dead and so out of fashion. It was almost impossible to get any gigs, any attention at all playing this music. But I think it was too close to the 80s. But now it's, time has passed on, and people just see it as it's just another form of rock and roll, and another from it's the same as you can listen to Rat, or you can listen to Led Zeppelin. People don't care. It's just rock music nowadays. But back in the early 2000s, when we started this band, it was a big deal. If you listen to Led Zeppelin, you were cool, and if you listen to Rat, you were an idiot. So it's really changed throughout the years, and now I think it's just hard rock, and the people who like it will just listen to that music now. Easier.
I'm old hard rock fan, as you can see, and there are a couple of things I don't understand. Even when people ask me, I don't know what to say. Just in the first place, just tell me if you agree, and if you don't, I won't go on with the question. Hard rock is a genre that doesn't think have evolved a lot in all the history. At least it's not so evident. Well, do you agree with that in the first place?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
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 Then,
yeah.
How important is the technique and the feeling to captivate people in the first place? And why do we, the fans, I guess musicians too, still love so much hard rock music, even when we know the bands are not gonna surprise us with something new, but we love what you do in this case?
Well, I think the culture around it is that every band is somehow trying to pay homage to how it started. If it's Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin, or any band that was around in the 70s or 80s. But I think it's about finding new ways and new ways to tweak that to your advantage as you are in a group, which is, for us in ECLIPSE, I think we really enjoy powerful melodies. We enjoy virtuoso guitar playing, and we enjoy a heavy bass drum hitting a 4 on the floor, and those pieces of a puzzle together with paying homage to the bands that we grew up listening to, or the bands that we find today that we haven't heard before, kind of is a part of the sound, and it's a part of the culture that is our music and modern metal, I think. So I think, as you're saying, it hasn't changed a lot, but it does change a little bit. It depends on how big you want to look at it, but it does. I think it has changed in certain aspects over the past 50 years, but the founding elements are still there.
Yeah, but if you listen to ECLIPSE, for an instance, as we we have this 80s kind of vibe in the music because it's very catchy and it's very melodic and stuff. But if you compare it to an 80s record, it doesn't sound the same. It's still different. You can hear that it's the whole production, the sounds, the way of doing choruses are still a lot different than the 80s. You get that feeling from the 80s, you know, but there's so much new stuff in there as well, which no one had ever thought about doing back in the 80s. So there is things are happening, but it's, you know, still, you know, we want to have the Judas Priest inspiration in the songs. We want to have the, you know, Deep Purple. You know, we love that stuff. So we also, of course, we want to incorporate some of that stuff. You know, when I pick up my guitar, if I pick up my white Gretsch. I played that guitar because Malcolm Young played a white Gretsch during Back in Black, and for those about to rock. So everything, there is also always like a connection to the past, but still I think there's a lot of the here and now in it as well. So I don't think it's just the same.
Oh, great. Victor, this is your moment, man. What happened? What happened in the universe? There's a kind of curse. People doesn't hear bass. What is happening?
I think they do. I think a lot. I think before Erik joined in, we were talking a bit about that, and I think it's one of those elements that it's a glue kind of. And I promise, if you were to take away the bass from our latest record, you would notice that something is missing quite a lot.
For sure.
Yeah. And for most metal records, I believe that's the case. But you're right. It's not. I guess it's not one of those things that's meant to stand out and be front and center and to claim the most attention. Which I think is, if everything was like that, then you would end up with. It would be weird, right? So it makes more sense, you know, in the way things are. I personally prefer the instrument because it feels like you get to be a part of two aspects of two very important parts of a classic rock setup, which is, you know, the drums, they take a lot of space and the guitars take a lot of space. So it's like you get to play with both of those guys, you know, both of those groups, and be a part of both, you know.
Yeah, the bass is really the bridge between the bass, between the drums and the guitars and vocals. You know, if you take away the bass, there is just a big hole that, and it's like the drums makes no sense and the guitars makes no sense. But when you add the bass, it's all of a sudden it's a wall of sound. You know, a good guitar sound starts with a good bass sound, right?
Great.
That's true. That's true.
Well, guys, next April the 26th, you'll be playing here in Argentina for the first time. Could you please tell the people why should they attend to that show?
Okay, I can start. If you want to see an explosive rock and roll show from a band that's at their very, very best, then you should come to Buenos Aires to catch ECLIPSE, because it's going to be one hell of a show. And it's going to include songs from our whole discography, and it's going to be hopefully a fantastic evening.
For sure. Well said.
Well, thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Awesome,
really appreciate it. Great band. We wish you all the best for the show here in Argentina.
Thank you. Hope to see you there. Thank you. All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Take care.